You did it. This is the end of the semester. You have just 2 weeks left. And in the last 2 weeks, you will be focusing on your final project. During this lecture, we'll be going through the slideshow about your final project and hopefully clearing up any questions you might be having. In the module, you will find this PowerPoint here. It is your final project for our class. The premise of the project is that there's different avenues of information that could be the TV, the internet, social media, and personal blogs. But how do we discern what the truth is? How do you pick through it all and apply your personal experiences just to make sense of what might be real and what might be fake? So throughout the semester, you've been asked to repeatedly make an opinion based on the information you were presented with. And in the final project, you're going to choose a topic from these slides or have a unique one approved by me prior to starting any of the pre-writing strategies. And then I want you to convince me what is true and why. So there's different appeals that we've talked about this semester. You have the emotional appeal, which is your pathos. You have your ethos, which is a credible source that backs your opinion to say, like, see, I'm not the only one. This person who's an expert in their field also agrees. And then you have logos, which is the logical appeal. Like, this makes sense, therefore you should believe it. Additionally, you have to show that you fully understand that your perspective isn't the only one out there. So that would be the naysayer, what the other side is saying. You must include at least one counter argument that is unique to the claims. For instance, if I am going to take on vaccinations in children, and I say, emotionally, my appeal would be like, don't you want to protect your children from all that's out there? That is your children. That is what you want to do. So this idea of nurturing and protection, that would be appeal to a parent's emotions. And then if I say ethos, if I say this is what the CDC says, and this is what the Natural Pediatrics Association says, they say that not only is it safe and effective, however, something about it being like, stopping these diseases that have gone extinct from reappearing. And then my logical appeal, instead of it being about protection or about stopping diseases before they start, logically it would make sense that since it's necessary to go to public school and I'm a working parent who doesn't have the time to homeschool, logically I would get my kids vaccinated. So those are three different aspects of the same argument. One is fear-based, one's about not having diseases come to pass that have been extinct. And then one is about education and access to education. So it's all the same argument, but you have three appeals that are all different. Now, some may argue, or some may say, or it has been said, that's my naysayer introduction, that vaccinating your children leads to an increase in autism and hyperactivity, that the aluminum is not being in the vaccinations or not being regulated by the FDA or anything like that, blah, 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 blah. So then I'm going to take the opposite side, or I might address maybe alternatives to vaccination, like pairing out vaccinations instead of having the schedule set forth by your pediatrician. So you have to fully address an aspect of a naysayer that is different from the three appeals you just made. It can't be the same. So here's another example. Mandatory military service should be enforced. This is also called compulsory service or conscription, which is popular in some other countries. So pathos, we need to ensure that our military is full of trained, willing individuals in case of war. We need to defend ourselves. Your ethos, a study done shows that the 36 other countries with mandatory service reports that participants feel proud of serving their country in non-combat roles, as it is a rite of passage for adulthood. And your logical appeal is the number of voluntary enlistments are going down every year, and if this trend continues, the U.S. will be shorthanded in the event of war. Worse yet, those who are drafted may have no desire or commitment to the cause, let alone proper timely training. Naysayer, some may argue that forcing an individual into military service is unconstitutional, and then you go and explain what that means. and then you answer your naysay. However, it is better to amend the stipulation to include language that concentrates on service and non-combat as an option for education and professional advancement. So there's an example right there. And in some of your pre-writing strategies, you're going to give yourself this kind of roadmap so that you know where you're going to plug in your sources, one for pathos, a different one for ethos, one for logos, and then one for your naysayer. Here are your logistics. There will be 2 pre-writing assignments that's going to help you build up to this argument. They all must come from the Shasta College Library database. You can't use Google for this project at all. You must use the library databases for this project. This can't come from anywhere else. You will also have a roadmap. So not only will your annotated bibliography help you kind of construct all of your research in one place and give me the how and the why you're using it and where you're going to be plugging it in. But then when you do your roadmap, you're going to outline to me so I know that all your arguments are different and they're good to go before you spend the time on this final project typing it up. And then you have to have 6 full pages for your final essay, plus a works cited page. So your works cited page never counts towards the minimum required page numbers. Additionally, everything that you quote or learn about in your outside sources must be summarized and cited properly. If you use direct quotes, it's going to raise the score of the authenticity report. You only have 17% that can be copied word for word. And when you turn it into Turnitin.com, it gives you an authenticity report. Now, your works cited page will 100% be copied, which gives you a little bit of wiggle room in that 17%. So don't take advantage of that. Make sure you're summarizing things in your own words and citing properly as opposed to just strict copy and paste. Now, here's some sample topics. There's 7 here. I don't need to read them to you. You're fully capable of reading these for yourself. But if these are not on your level or not of interest to you, find a topic that's controversial, that has a yay and a nay to persuade me. A simple Google search can mine some more topics for you. But make sure that you get this approved prior to at least 1 week prior to that first kind of pre-writing strategy. Make sure that you are able to get that approved so that you don't do all of this work. And as always, please make sure you ask me any questions ahead of time about the final project. I will be waiting and can't wait to see what you guys write about. Thanks for watching.